Okay, I'm just going to show you this same book. You may have already watched the video of Bats by Gail Gibbons yesterday, but I wanted to show you how when you do your Tuesday assignment, how you're going to fill in your boxes. Okay, so if you're able to print out the boxes, you can print them and we're going to draw in them. Or if you do not have a printer, I'm just going to put like a giant plus sign on the front and the back of my piece of paper, and then in each of the boxes I'm going to write a word when we get to the page. So the first word I know is going to come up is this word, swoop. So you might want to get a piece of paper now and pause the video, and you can put in this word SWOOP. Make sure you have something that you can write with, and we'll try and do some of these things. Bats dive, swoop, and swerve through the dark night sky. So when we saw the picture, the bat is flying like whoosh. That's a swoop, where he goes kind of down and up, and he might be swooped down to catch an insect that he wants to eat. So on my paper, I am going to put a little bat, and I'm just going to draw his head and his body, and then I'm going to put 2 lines for the wings going out, and then a line going back that goes up and down. I'm going to give him triangle ears, and then I'm going to draw a line where he's going to go down and up. Okay, so I don't know. My picture is not, maybe you can make a prettier picture than I can, but you want to show something about how that bat is moving. And I think maybe an arrow or some lines could help to show where he was and where he's going. These creatures are nocturnal, meaning they are awake at night and asleep during the day. Most people have never seen a bat. Bats have played an important part in stories. Many people have thought that bats were evil spirits. Often they have thought they were the friends of ghosts and witches. Because many unkind things have been said about bats, some people still think they are scary. Actually, that means really, bats are shy and gentle animals. Okay, now gentle is one of those words that on the vocabulary sheet you're supposed to tell me about. So looking at this picture, at the illustration, think about, can you tell from the picture that the bat is gentle? That the bat's not trying to hurt anybody, being careful not to hurt anybody? Okay, so this is one of our other words, gentle. Okay, and gentle, you should have Gentle. And if the bat is gentle, the bat is careful not to hurt anybody. Okay, so this is tricky for me to know how I am going to show that the bat is not trying to hurt anybody. But I'm going to make my bat body shape again. I'm going to make 2 circles for my bat body shape. I'm going to draw lines out to the side, and then lines that go up and down to come back to his body. I'm going to give him eyes, and I don't think bats really smile much, but I'm going to draw a smile to show that he's nice, and that'll help me remember what gentle is. And like I saw in the picture, I'm going to put a few flowers because the bat is helping the flowers. The bat is gentle, not hurting anybody, and he is helping us. Okay. Bats are mammals,
as are dogs, cats, and humans. All mammals are warm-blooded animals, and their babies are born alive instead of being hatched from eggs. Bats are the only mammals that can fly. Okay, so up here in the picture, I can see the bat, and then I can see these little insects that the bat might like to eat. I can see the moon, so I know he's nocturnal. They told me he likes to be awake during the night. Bats have been around for a long time. The oldest bat fossil found is about 50 million years old. These prehistoric bats looked a lot like today's bats. All bats have the same basic characteristics, including large wings. Okay, here's his wings, right? Small bodies and lightweight bones. Okay, so this bat is labeled, this is a little brown bat, and these bats do live in Kentucky. And they're showing you where is his eye, where's his nose, where are his ears, and this is his foot down here, and his foot is connected to his tail, and this is his body, and his body has fur, F-U-R. The fur of the bat could be black, it could be white, it could be red, brown, or gray. Bats' wings are different from the wings of insects or birds. A bat's wing has a long arm bone and very long finger bones. So this is his arm, this is his fingers. And it has a thin skin called a membrane that stretches between the bones. The thumb ends with a claw. Okay, so I think this is the thumb right here on the top. The membrane connects the wing bones to the bat's body and legs. A bat can move each finger separately to change the shape of its wings. This helps it change its speed and direction quickly. Okay, so this is the thumb with the claw. This is the second finger, which is right next to the thumb. This is his third finger. It doesn't look like it's as the longest one, like our third finger is usually the longest one. It doesn't look like the bat's is. This is his fourth finger. And this is his fifth finger, like our pinky. Some bats can fly as fast as 99 miles an hour. That's 159 kilometers. And some can go as high as 10,000 feet, which is 3,050 meters. Okay, so I do not think that I have ever been 99 miles an hour in a car. It is very, very fast. When a bat lands, it flips upside down and hangs by its toe claws. It uses these claws to move around. Okay, so he's right here. Here are his toe claws. Remember, we saw on his wing, he had one claw, but on his toes, it looks like he has more claws. And this one is the giant flying fox. So he's the very, very biggest bat there is. Bats choose many kinds of dark nooks and crannies to live in. Okay, so this nooks and crannies is on your sheet for today also.
Okay, the word, or really it's three words, nooks and crannies. Nooks and crannies is on this page, and you can see that nooks and crannies just means little places where the bat can hide. So you can copy that off the screen, nooks and crannies, and just draw whatever kind of little place. It could be in a tree, it could be in between the rocks that you think the bat would like to hide in a nook and cranny.
See that the bats are kind of going in between these big rocks and finding a little place to hide. These are the Mexican free-tailed bats. These places are called roost. That's where they might hide, where they might rest. Many bats live together in caves, attics, barns, or tall trees. In places where it gets cold in the winter, some kinds of bats migrate to warmer climates. Others use their roost to hibernate until spring. Okay, so these bats, if they hibernate, that means they might sleep or rest and hide in this warm place the whole winter, the whole time it's cold. And these bats in the little blue picture, they are not going to sleep, but they're going to migrate. That means they're going to move, and they will fly to some place where it is warm in the winter. Just before hibernating begins, bats eat lots of food to live on during the long winter months. Their heartbeats slow down and their body temperatures drop. Bats live on every continent except Antarctica. Most of them live in hot climates where there are many insects, fruits, and flowers to feed on. Okay, I think this is the best picture for that word habitat. I don't see the word on this page, but they're telling me that the bat likes best to live, they don't want to live in Antarctica because it's too cold. Okay, they want to live someplace that is hot, someplace where there is a lot of fruit growing, where there are a lot of insects and bugs for them to eat, and a lot of flowers.
Are you going to put snow? Are you going to put flowers? What would the bat?
So you may want to pause here so you can make a habitat picture of someplace warm with all the fruit. There are about 1,100 different kinds of bats. The smallest is the Kitty's hog-nosed bat, and its wingspan is 5 inches, 13 centimeters. Okay, so when you measure a bat, you don't see how tall he is from the top of his head down to his feet. You're going to measure him from this side of his wing over to this side of his wing, stretched out as far as it can go. And this Kitty's bat weighs only 2 grams, or 1/14 of an ounce. He's very, very small. The biggest bat is the giant flying fox, and its wingspan is 5 feet. So that is taller than a lot of kindergartners are not going to be. I don't think any kindergartners are going to be 5 feet yet. And it weighs about 2 pounds. But the smallest bat and the largest bat, they both live in Asia. Most bats are insect eaters and have a special way of seeing in the night called echolocation. A bat sends out a rapid beeping call to high-pitched. It's too high-pitched for people to hear. When hunting, the sound waves hit an insect. The waves bounce back to the bat's ears as echoes, and these echoes tell the bat the size and shape of the insect and where it is located. In a flash, the bat scoops up the insect, and bats help control the insect population. Okay, so I'm looking at the illustration, and these yellow lines are showing me the bat is saying, People can't hear it, but he's making that sound. And when he makes that sound, it bounces just like if you yelled when you were inside a cave or a tunnel, you can hear your voice come back to you. The bat can hear really quietly, you can hear from the direction where the insect is, and then it knows how to get it. Echolocation. There are fruit and nectar eating bats too. These bats help pollinate plants so we can have foods such as avocados, figs, and bananas. They also help scatter weeds. Okay, so this bat is trying to get the nectar, which is like a juice, out of this flower. And when he does that, and then he goes to another plant and does the same thing, he's moving around that nectar and the seeds so that plant will maybe make, I don't know, it doesn't look like a banana tree to me, but this is going to make some kind of a fruit because the bat is helping the seed get where it needs to get to another plant. And in the box up here, they're showing us that there is the stigma and the stamen. So the pollen from, I guess, this stamen has to get onto the other plant, onto the stigma for it to make fruit. Okay, they're going to tell us pollination happens when a grain of pollen from a stamen, this part, lands on the stigma of another flower like itself. Okay, I'm looking at the next page. A few kinds of bats are meat eaters. They like to eat fish, frogs, mice, and sometimes birds. They have smooth, sharp, crushing teeth that allow them to eat what they catch, bones and all. Okay, so you can look and you can see what this bat is eating. It's called the fishing bat because he likes to eat the fish. Blood is the only food for vampire bats. They are found in Mexico, Central America, and South America. When the vampire bat finds an animal, it makes a tiny cut with its teeth in the animal's skin. Then the bat laps up the food with its tongue. The animal hardly feels the cut. Okay, so this bird, or whatever kind of animal this is that the bat is drinking the blood for, is not going to even hurt. It's not going to feel any pain because the bat is so gentle. Okay? Many scary and untrue stories have been told about vampire bats and people called vampires. The famous fictional vampire named Dracula frequently is shown with bats circling him. Okay, so he is not real. Some bats have long, narrow faces. Okay, maybe this one. Others have short, round faces. Some bats have leaf-like shapes on their faces, while others look like dogs. Okay, so think about which one do you think has something on its face that looks like a leaf, and which one has a face that's almost like a dog face. I think maybe this one looks like a leaf to me. I don't know whether this one or this one looks more like a dog. Okay, this is the little brown bat. Some bats have very good hearing and can see well. Most bats have a good sense of smell too. In the springtime, female bats gather together in roosts that will become nurseries. They will give birth to their babies called pups. Most bats have only one pup at a time. Okay, so During birth, the mother bat may hang by her thumb claws with her head up. She forms a basket with her tail membrane. At birth, the pup slides from her body into the basket. Other bats give birth while upside down. Okay, so this is the mom, and here is the baby right here. You can see mom's tail, and then you can see the baby's tail. As soon as the pup is born, its mother hangs head down again. The pup nurses while being cradled under the mother's wing. The pup clings to its mother's fur using its own sharp teeth and claws. Okay, so there's one of our words. Okay, now we have the word clings. And if you cling, you're going to hold on to something really tightly, so you don't want to lose it. So this baby bat in the picture is clinging, and he's using his teeth and his claws. And I don't think it's hurting his mom, but that's what he's using to hold onto her so that he won't fall down, because he's not strong enough to, I guess, hold onto the rocks yet. He just goes like this. And You're on your own. You can figure out how to draw that one, because I'm not sure. The young pup grows quickly. A 10-day-old pup is almost too heavy for its mother to carry. At 3 months old, it is flying on nightly hunting trips. Okay, now we're going to have to draw about the word hunting. Okay, so you're looking for the word H-U-N-T-I-N-G. Okay, and you can show in your picture, you can show how the bats hunt. Sometimes they use their wings to trap a bug. Sometimes they use their tail, and they use their tail to scoop the bug and trap it. But if they're hunting or we also saw one picture where the bat is hunting for a fish. So if he's hunting for the fish, he's going to swoop down in the water and open his mouth and just grab that whole fish with his mouth. Whichever one you want to draw. When it is about 1 year old, it is an adult. Okay, so here I can see this bat is hunting. And you see the insect right here in its wing. And this, I guess, is a tiny, tiny baby, less than 10 days old, because this bat is still able to hold on to mom while she's flying. Today, in many places, bat populations are getting smaller. These bats are endangered. One reason is that many people still don't like bats and destroy their habitats. Other causes are pollution and the use of pesticides for killing crop-damaging insects. Okay, so all these things in these pictures are bad for bats. This polluted air is bad for the bats, and this kind of poison that some people put on the plants to keep bugs from eating them, this poison is bad for the bats. In many places, there aren't enough bats left to keep down the number of insect pests or to pollinate flowers. Okay, so we're seeing one of these vocabulary words. I see pest. Spell it with me. We've got P-E-S-T-S. Okay, now I'm looking for the word pest on my square. It's going to start with a P, like penguin. P-E-S-T-S. And pest is a word for the insects, the bugs that we do not like. So pest can be, bugs that are eating our plants, that are eating our flowers, but they're the bugs that people don't like. We call them pest. So you can draw, little mosquitoes or whatever kind of bugs that you.
if we don't have enough bats because the air is too polluted and there are too many poisons, then the bats aren't eating the insects, and there will be too many insects that are eating all our plants. People are learning how to help protect bats. Some people provide bat houses where they can roost. Sometimes people cover bat cave entrances with grill work. Bats are free to come and go, but people can't enter. Also, there are nature preserves that protect large groups of bats. Bats play an important role in nature. It's fun to learn about them. Okay, now our very last word that you have to draw today is protect. Protect is P like penguin again, then R, O, T, E, C, T. And in this book, they're using protect is to take care of something, to keep it safe. And in this page, we saw some things that people can do to help the bats to stay safe. And so you can choose one of those things that you would like to show. What can we do to help the bats stay safe, or what can we not do? Okay, what things can we do to help the Okay, so now we go back to these words from the beginning: diving, swooping, and swerving bats. And they're giving us some little pictures. This is the Mexican free-tailed bat that lives in Bracken Cave near San Antonio, Texas. And it can eat 250 tons, which is 227,000 kilograms of insects every night. So it eats a lot of insects. I want them to live in my backyard so I don't have any mosquitoes. Most bats live to be 10 to 14 years old. Under the Congress Avenue Bridge in Austin, Texas, one can see more than 1 million Mexican free-tailed bats roosting. They have become a tourist attraction. The little brown bat can eat 1,000 insects in 1 hour. Almost 1/2 of the bat species living in the United States are at risk. So they have some kind of big problem that's hurting them. A lot of bad bats. White nose syndrome is a disease that is killing many bats in the U.S. Scientists are working to understand it. You can help by never entering a cave without a bat expert. Have you heard the saying, as blind as a bat? It's not true. Bats can see very well. Some people think all bats carry a disease called rabies. This is also not true. Bats can get rabies, but no more easily than any other animal. Never touch a bat you find on the ground. It might try to bite you if it is scared, and it could be sick. Okay, so even though we learned they're gentle, they probably don't want you to pick them up. They might be too scared. There are about 45 species of bats found in North America. The most common is the big brown bat. Okay, so you may see these when it starts to get really warm this summer. If you go out and it's starting to get dark and it's really warm, you may see the bats, and you can see how they fly in the sky. They look different from the birds.